Okay, so, all right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. In today's session, we're going to be looking at creating a granular synthesis pad in Reactor. I've already got my instance of Reactor open, and I'm just going to be exploring a little bit of what you can do with granular synthesis, and we're going to explore that a little bit together today. So, when we're done, we're going to end up with a sound something like this. That sounds something like this. So that's going to be something like what we're going to be creating today. So if you've never worked with granular synthesis in the past, today we're going to be working with it. And it requires you having a little bit of knowledge of granular synthesis. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background as to what that means. So granular synthesis is essentially a extreme form of time stretching, and through these devices such as Grandmaster, we're able to create that time stretching. And we know that audio is made up of a large number of individual samples. Most commonly, if we have a sample rate of, let's say, 44.1, that's 44,100 samples. So that's used to store the information, and that tells us all the information that we have in that sample, and we can use that original audio signal to manipulate and create something new. So in this case, I've dropped in a sample that I've already had, a loop that I've had in my library. I've just dropped it into the Grandmaster here, and there's several different things which you can do with this device. When it comes to granular synthesis, though, it's really a method of stretching time. You're altering the piece of music in a way that, and the way that the sample audio is played back. So as you can see, when I had the space and when I change the speed, it adjusts and alters the actual sample over time. You can slow it down or speed it up to create some really cool effects. And then I can record a new sample with that recording. Or I can actually do some audio in and bring some audio in here and really record that. So we have a sample here, and I'm able to manipulate the space that it's in, put it in a bigger space, decrease the space between the waves, change the speed. And where we're moving in the sample. So X means going left or right, while Y means going up or down. So we can change the size and the space, and kind of mangle this sample to an unrecognizable sound over time. This also enables us to pitch shift. So we can adjust the perceived pitch of this sample with the pitch knob. by altering the rate at which the sample is really played, or the digital file is replayed at. And as we increase that rate, of course, the pitch increases, and we hear a higher pitch sound. And we can, and with several other parameters, we can pretty much mangle this sound or this actual sample to something that's unrecognizable, or something that you want to use as an effect with multiple LFOs in your music. So essentially, we're stretching, we're shifting the extreme levels, the sound that we're using to create these timbres, these textures, and essentially a pad. So I'm going to play with the LFO, and we're going to keep going with this. I'm going to add one more thing to this. We're just going to duplicate the LFO here, and we're going to do another one. So I have double LFOs. So I can turn them both on or one on, and I get even more movement. So the thing about this, you can create unlimited sounds, anything you want. Let's scatter the grains a little bit. So essentially we're moving around the grains of sound. So we can automate this too. I think I'm going to take it a step further. We're going to bring in an 8-step, possibly, and a clock, just because I want it to play by itself. And possibly one more piece. I'm thinking an envelope so that I can control the ADSR movement. Let's see if we can get one more in there. So we only have 2 slots for that. Okay. So let's connect this gate to the clock. Pitch goes in here. Let's see if we can get this to play automated. Okay. So now we got it playing by itself. So this is a really cool feature within Reactor that we can use and really input into our newer compositions. So there we have it. Sounds like the gate connection is going on and off. So let's see if we can add. Okay. Let's take out the gate. Reset. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to disconnect this for now because I'm liking to the control of just playing the notes in. So I'm going to go back to our initial setup where we can input notes. Connect our gate. And then I'm going to add a little reverb and delay. We can take it a step further, hit the record, arm it. Oh. We will select a new folder. Choose this folder. We'll save it into like our, let's say, atmospheric sounds. And we'll call it, I don't know, Dark Tide, something interesting. Save, and then we will record arm, and we'll record our sound. And there we have it. We have a new sample we've created, and we can feel free to use that in any of our compositions. So if we go to our documents and we look for our samples in atmospheric, you can see we have a sample here. And there we have it. So we can then take that sample, we can take it a step further, and we can really use that in our compositions or any project we wish, just by simply dragging it in. And if we go over to Ableton, we have a core project here waiting for us. We can resample, we can play this sample, we can bring it into a simpler device. I'm just going to loop it up. And then once I loop it up, I'm going to add a device. So I'm going to take this sample and we are going to drag that into a simpler, and we can chop this up and use it however we would like in our compositions or any project. So right now I have chops just like that, and then I could take it a step further, and let's say I want to incorporate some drums from my drum machine from the MPC Live 2. I've got some trap drums queued up already, so let's see. So that's our sample. In case we didn't hear it. And got some trap drums queued up already. And I can just go ahead, set the metronome, record something in. Just going to turn it down a little bit on the metronome. And then we can hit record. And we can bring something in. Okay. Okay, so I've recorded something in, so we can then hear it. It's not perfect, but we can make it perfect. So we're going to choose that whole sample. Going to quantize the sample. And we can really take pieces out of this as we choose. Maybe we want just this snare sound. We can drag it to another track and just play it through that track. So I'm gonna do that. Takes pieces out of this. So we can take that kick. We can take the kick. And we can arrange something really quickly here. Just a short loop. Then we can grab, let's say we want to grab snares. So I like this snare. We can grab that and place it into our track. We're going to make this a different color, just so we can tell the difference between the samples. And then we can play that. Actually, this. Okay, let's just line up the time, line up the rhythms. So I only like up to this part in the sample. Then we'll just repeat what we have there. It. And we can go with as many textures or feels or rhythms that we want to come up with over time. We can even feel free to separate our drums if we want to, if we really want to. duplicate macro, I can duplicate our track, and I can really just separate the kicks from the snares. So I know that those are kicks. So we can take our snares, we can delete them, and then just duplicate them. And make sure it's playing. And we'll call this, we'll rename this snare, and we'll do the same with the tracks. So we just zoom in a little bit. Rename that. We'll just do a copy. Rename. Copy it. And then rename and paste. Rename, paste. That way we have kicks and snares kind of, separated. Oops. Actually, we could reverse that and see what it sounds like. And that's our reverse snare. You can get really crazy with this. Add whatever effects you want. Use them as idea starters. Then you can fill it in with other percussion that you have. Let's say you have a shaker. Bring in some percussion. If you really want to. And then really you can get really as creative as you want with this. Just turn that down a little bit more than that. So I don't like that sample so much. I like that more. Just remember to tame your volumes, mix your sounds in so that they sound balanced. And that's the beginnings pretty much of any beat or any sample that you want to try out. You can really mangle them as much as you want and design things in your projects from those sounds. Just as you've seen me do here, you can do the same and keep sound designing and keep creating. Let me go back to the patch so you can take a look. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and keep designing sounds. I'll see you in the next live stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the next stream, and peace out for now.